Hello everyone, welcome to dotnet Mirror channel. Today let's understand how can we deploy ASP.NET application to Azure App Service using external Git as an deployment option. In this demo, as a developer, when you try to push a .NET code to the GitLab, here GitLab is an external Git provider. Unless GitHub or Azure Repos, we are going to use GitLab as an external repo, and we will try to configure this GitLab in Azure App Service as a deployment method. We will try to push our code changes to the GitLab. We will configure the settings in Azure App Service. We will try to deploy the application from GitLab to the Azure App Service, which can be consumed by the users. In this video, we will try to create an Azure app. We will configure GitLab project. We will configure external Git repo in Azure App Service. We will run the demo at the end from the Azure cloud with external Git as a deployment option. Make sure you have Azure Studio IDE, Azure account, development knowledge of ASP.NET, C Sharp, Azure, and basic knowledge of deployment is good. You should have a GitLab account or any other external Git provider account. Let's understand what is an Azure App Service. Azure App Service is a fully managed platform as a service which enables you to build and deploy web applications or APIs, mobile backends without managing any infrastructure. You can pick up your own language to develop the application, could be .NET, Java, or PHP. Once you develop the application, you can use below deployment methods to deploy to Azure App Service. The ones which are in green, I have already created videos which are available in my Azure App Service playlist. I will provide the link in the description. You can go through them. In this video, we will focus on the 11th one, which is highlighted in yellow color, which is external Git. Let's understand what is an external Git deployment. It generally refers to a remote repository which is hosted outside of your current platform. The external Git could be GitLab or any other repo. This will enable you to continuously deploy for cloud Git other than like regular GitHub, Bitbucket, or Azure repos. You can use GitLab as an option, but if you have any other external repos, you can use it. When you're using external Git, there's a little configuration required in Azure App Service. I will try to show that in the demo. This is very different to the local Git where I have provided in my previous video. In the local Git, where you will have your code and push it to Azure, and Azure App Service will become like a Git remote for you. When you want to deploy an external Git option, make sure that basic authentication is enabled in the app service. And this particular external Git is not suitable for large scale projects. If you are looking for a large scale projects, try to pick up GitHub Actions or Azure Pipelines or any other repos. Let's get into the demo. So here I already created an Azure App Service. I have used free service tier app service plan, and let's browse this application. If you see here, the app is running and we have not deployed anything here. And from my Visual Studio, I created a basic ASP.NET application, and I have connected to my GitLab. You can easily go to gitlab.com, you can register, and it is easy option to push your code to GitLab. It is very similar to Azure Repos or GitHub. So I have created here an web app one. I have tried to push my code here. The code is already available here. If you are creating newly, what you can do is you can go to your project, and in the Visual Studio, when you create an app, you get an option called add code to the source control. You pick up this public URL and you try to provide your username and password which are available from your user profile. You can, or else you can use even the pad token as well. So my code is already pushed to GitLab. Now let's try to use this particular app to deploy to Azure. I'll go to app service. Let's go to the deployment center. I will select option as external Git. Now it says if you want to use external Git, basic authentication has to be enabled. Let's go there. Let's enable this basic authentication option. Let's apply. Now let's go back to the deployment center. Now let's select external git. Now let's pick up the repository URL. My app is available here. So if you go here, yeah, let's go and configure this. And the branch is master, main. So let's go and just, so let me see if I have a master branch. Yeah, the code is available in the master branch, not in the main branch. So let's go and put master here. And this is, if you see here, I already logged in here with my account. But if you see this particular project, I already hosted this as a public repo. If I open this in incognito mode, this particular repository is publicly available. Yeah, the repo is already available public. So let's go and select public as an option. But if you have a repo which is private, and you can go and provide credentials, but let me pick up the public. Now let's save this. Once you save this, automatically Azure picks up in the background. Kudu will try to pick up your options and it will start deploying the app. Now if you see here, so it is running our deployment, and if you select this, you can see the options. It is trying to do the deployment. Let's wait for a minute. Let's refresh. Yeah, now the deployment is succeeded. Now if you go and refresh this app, now our application is up and running. You can see the home page and privacy page. Now we can go and do some code change. You can do from Visual Studio Code and push the code, but let me do directly over here. Let me go to the master branch and let me go to pages. In the index page, let me edit this. Just I will say welcome to external git deployment. Let's commit this change. I'll say updated the header in homepage. Let's commit this. Yeah, now the code is committed. If you go to the application, you don't see the change automatically. When it comes to GitHub Actions and all, it automatically picks and deploy. But here you have to go here and go to the settings, and you have to say sync, which will initiate another build, another deployment, and it will try to pick up another deployment option, and it will try to deploy the changes. So let's wait for a minute. Yeah, now it is succeeded and this is active. If you go here, you can check the logs, and it is trying to generate some deployment scripts. Yeah, it is, and also it is running the deployment commands where it picks up from our GitLab, and it will try to deploy here. Let's go and refresh the app. Now if you see here, our app is updated with the recent change from the GitLab. And whenever you want to connect to a different provider, you can go and just disconnect. It will be get disconnected. With this, we are done with the demo. Let's go back to the PPT. Let's see few or other consideration with external Git. External Git is only for Windows based apps. If it is a Linux, you have to use GitHub or Azure Repos or any other custom container options. In the background, as I mentioned, the app service build called Kudu handles all tasks where it goes and install the packages, it builds everything it is does in the background. GitHub Actions or Azure Repos are the robust options to have a CI/CD compared to external Git. And in this, if you are choosing external Git, you have to manage everything. If credentials are changed or if you want to do a deployment, you have to sync it. Everything is manual. You have to make sure that on any failure, you have to go and analyze and update the changes. And if it is a small scale projects, try to use this option. But if you want to pick up large scale projects, try to consider GitHub or Azure Repos. And I will put the article reference in my description. Please refer that. With this, we are done with the demo. Thank you for watching. Give a like if you like this video, share with your friends, click on the bell icon to get more updates from my channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you.